Hi, I'm Zach. I quit my day job about 7 months ago to pursue my dream job, and I gave myself one more month. This video is a part of a 30-day vlog series where I either make $1,000 from my dream job or I go back to a day job. And there are some factors that will make it harder for me to go back to a day job. Like, one, I no longer have a car, and two, we live in the middle of nowhere. Our neighbors aren't for many miles, no, many chunks of trees. Our neighbors are far away. Most towns are far away. No big city is near, at least for like 45 minutes to an hour. And so living in the middle of nowhere, it's not too bad. This is Hillsboro, Missouri. It's not too bad. It could be worse. Like, I don't know, Kansas or other places where there's more nowhere. There's more nowhere there than here, but there's a lot of nowhere here. And so my main focus for another month is content creation and my music and the album, and I'm still feeling pretty positive about the results and the possibilities. And there's a couple other things that could happen that could keep me from having to go back to a day job and more income sources, but it's very possible that the end of this vlog series will come and then I'll have to go back to a day job. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do if I can't find one. Although there are some jobs around here. There, in Hillsboro, there's like a Subway, there's 3 gas stations, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and then there's Festus in DeSoto, which is like 20 minutes away. But being that I have to rely on my parents, it just makes it a little bit harder. But my parents are willing to give me rides about 20 minutes away, and that's a blessing. And also there's well, no, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say my friend Jeff is willing to give me rides, and he lives in St. Charles, and sometimes I stay at his house for a couple days at a time. So maybe if I found a part-time job up there, I could work further north where there's better jobs. But I'm not gonna even entertain that thought, because that involves relying on Jeff and a longer drive, and I'm not going to rely on people that much. So being more realistic, it's very possible that I'll have to like get a job at least 1 mile to 20 miles from where I live, which does not leave a lot of good jobs or jobs that I would enjoy at all. But it does not leave many good jobs, and I may find that it's hard to find these jobs. Although I have experience working. I have 12 years of experience working, like 8 or 9 in food service, and I've been a manager and a whole bunch of other stuff in labor and sales and certain things. So I do have experience, and there are a number of jobs here. But I've been thinking about remote work too, especially since I've gained a lot more experience with social media managing, content creation, and video editing. And that is something that I'm going to try to do before I get any of these other jobs. And that's a way to get a job whenever you live in the middle of nowhere, is some remote job. And I'm thinking I'll even get like a telemarketing job or some job, even if it's not like content creation, like some job that's remote. I'm not sure of all the remote jobs, but I've gone through this cycle a lot where I've quit my day job, went after my dream job, and then whenever I have to get a job again, I start thinking, well, what jobs could I get that I won't absolutely hate? And then I'll look for online jobs so I can have the freedom and not have to drive into work and for my schedule. And I've never been successful of finding an online job, but I've never really put in the time and energy. So this time I will put in a little bit more time and energy to it. And if I do end up getting a crappier day job, like a gas station or McDonald's or something, then while I'm working there, I'll still continue to put energy into finding a better job and a stay-at-home job or something that I'll enjoy more. And it's going to be a process living out here, but you know, maybe living out in the middle of nowhere has other benefits. Like in these woods back here, like 10 acres or something, we have a junkyard that's many years old, and maybe if I go digging through the junkyard, I'll find gold, and then I'll have money. No, that's not a consistent form of income, but it is something to think about. Another way to make money whenever you live in the middle of nowhere. I imagine snow shoveling people's driveways in the middle of nowhere might pay a lot too, because as you can see, our driveway is pretty big and it's on a hill, and I mean, my dad shoveled this driveway whenever I wasn't here. I would have helped him if I was here. I was out of town. But what I'm saying is, there's people with big driveways here. Some of them are probably older people who could use some help from a younger person who has more physical capabilities. So maybe I'll shovel some snow. But I don't have a car, so that makes it harder. And since I live in the middle of nowhere, it's going to take me like a day to walk to each client. Not a day, but I mean, our neighbors aren't that far away. You can't see all of them. Well, over there, like a mile, you can see in the distance maybe a house, but through the woods, like half a mile, our neighbors are that way. But anyway, so living in the middle of nowhere and finding a job is going to be a challenge. Do you have any recommendations, or are you in a similar situation? Leave a comment down below. Have you ever worked a job in telemarketing or a stay-at-home job, or have you ever walked to work like over a mile on a highway like that? You probably can't see it. It's like a 2-lane road. I've walked to work on that highway. Although I'm blessed that my parents helped me out with rides, but if I had to, and before I was living with my parents, I walked everywhere. Although that's much easier if you live in a city. If you're homeless and you live in the middle of nowhere, then at that point I'd probably just try to live off grid or something. I don't know. Although I am a father, and so I would not live off grid. I would somehow integrate with society so I can support my son without taking him into the wild like a crazy person. But anyway, what am I talking about? So, living in the middle of nowhere, I gotta find a job that works out for me. And I don't have a car. Well, actually, I'm probably just gonna end up getting a gas station or McDonald's or a fast food job. Although there's a dispensary in town, I would like to get a job that I've never had before. Or, I mean, even if I get a gas station job, if I work at a new gas station, it'll make it more exciting. But because sometimes, I mean, I still get excited about new jobs and meeting new people for a little bit, and then it is not as exciting. It turns into dread, and I'm like, I don't want to put my time and energy here. I can make more money doing what I love. But yeah, it would be nice to not just work at like a new gas station, but work like a new job altogether and get a new experience. If it comes to that, because I do feel optimistic about music and content creation and everything I've been doing. Although obviously we haven't even made it 50% of the way there, and we're almost halfway through the month. So we made I made a couple more dollars. We made $85 out of 1,000 so far. And yeah, thank you everyone who's donated, all the patrons, for the person who bought my ebook From Homeless to Vegan Superhero. Thank you for watching and liking and subscribing. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, do it on my website. And thank you for supporting me. I appreciate all of you. For the animals, woo!